With us on the phone is Mark Dweck. He is founder and CEO of the Wink automotive company, Wink Motors. Mark, good morning and welcome to the Car Doctor program.
Thanks for having me, John.
Absolutely. Well, it's not often that people get to start their own car company. And you did just that, right?
Yes, about five or 6 years ago, I was made aware of a category of vehicles, and I decided that the category was not mature, and it bothered me because I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy since I was a kid.
And this category of cars is called low-speed electric vehicles or neighborhood electric vehicles. And I have seen some from GEM. Ford had one for a while. I think Chrysler may have had one, although it might have been a GEM at the time. And they were basically glorified golf carts that, with some work, managed to get on the road, so they had wipers and lights. Your Wink car is completely different. Your Wink car is a car.
It's basically, well, actually, our slogan is, it's not a car, it's a Wink. It's a Wink. It's really a car, but it's a micro car. It's small. It's a low-speed neighborhood electric vehicle. So, but it has all kinds of great stuff in it. It's put together like a regular car. It's robotically welded, painted, assembled in a very high-tech way. Most of the golf cart-based things that you're referring to basically start as a golf cart, and a lot of the stuff is tacked on. They may have tacked on doors, tacked on air conditioning, but in the end, it's not designed from start to finish like a car is. And so really, we have a small electric vehicle. It's a neighborhood electric vehicle, a low-speed vehicle, but it's definitely put together like a real car, and you would expect quality, and the quality that we have is like that of a real car.
Well, first off, the most striking thing about it actually has doors. Unlike a lot of the neighborhood electric vehicles, like you said, are sort of golf carts. This one has doors, and it has real wipers, and it has lights and a horn and a key fob that locks the doors, and it has power windows, and it has a key fob that you hold the unlock button down, and the windows roll down like a BMW or a Mercedes.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm a car guy. And to me, unless we had a real car quality product, I wasn't going to run it. And truthfully, 5 years ago, we brought in 4 models with very small quantities. I hit the brakes real fast on the vehicles because they weren't as properly thought out and engineered. So it was back to the drawing board. And 4 years later, what we have is a really highly finished vehicle that has intermittent wipers and child-proof door locks. It has three-point harnesses, inertia wheel harnesses. It's got a double braking system. If one brake system fails, there's a backup system, just like a car: power steering, power brakes, etc.
And one of the things that is, I think, it isn't like you built this car from scratch. You started with an electric car company in China, but you had to do a fair amount of work and engineering to get it to pass all of the low-speed electric vehicle NHTSA DOT stuff, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I've been an importer literally for 50 years, selling to Fortune 50 companies. And the only way you can sell to a Fortune 50 company is to have real control of the manufacturing process. So often we would supply molds and raw materials, etc. So in this case, I'm very well versed in the DOT requirements. So, for instance, you need a DOT windshield. Well, I don't trust a windshield that's stamped with DOT information. So we got samples of windshields. We sent them to a third-party inspection company an engineering inspection company that evaluated the windshields. And this inspection company works for Tesla, General Motors, Ford, Toyota, etc. So I supplied many components that our company purchased and supplied to the factory. because trusting Asia to do the right thing is one thing, but providing proper DOT components is what I did.
And you have, like you said, you've been working in in the field of importing things for years, and you've worked with McDonald's, right?
We worked with McDonald's. We worked with Fortune 50 companies. You name a Fortune 50 company that gave away tens of millions of giveaway items, we supplied it. But the problem was I went to Asia literally 140 times doing it. So I got burned out, but I wound it down because I just couldn't do it anymore. It's just too much running back and forth because I'm an old-fashioned guy. I'm hands-on. I make sure everything is correct. And I'm like a mother hen. I lay the egg and then I sit on it and make sure it's all good.
Well, there you go. Well, I was just looking at some of the specifications for this car. Besides the fact that, unlike every low-speed electric vehicle that I've seen, I was out for a walk yesterday and two different golf cart styles went by me. Neither of them had doors. Neither of them had, I would not think, had electric power steering. In both cases, they were gasoline vehicles. Yours is an electric vehicle, but it uses a lithium battery, right?
It's actually probably the safest lithium batteries out there. We have a lithium ferrous phosphate battery. Some people call it LifePro 4 or LFP. Yep. But what's interesting is because I'm a stickler for quality, I want this business to grow. So what happens is the batteries that we use, the cells that go into the battery pack, are China Aviation Lithium Battery Company. These are the batteries that are in Airbus, Boeing, and also weaponry. If you're shooting a missile at someone, you don't want the battery to die. So I believe everything that we do needs to be quality.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a lithium battery, but it's a great lithium battery.
And it has air conditioning and heat. So on a warm, rainy day, you have the windows up so you're not getting wet, and you have the air conditioner on so you don't get all sticky.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not an air conditioner; it's a climate control system. Yep. So it's got air conditioning, heat, defogger. You can direct the airflow. It has recirculation. It's like a car. It's not a simple air conditioner. It's a little more sophisticated than that. The whole car is more sophisticated.
Yeah.
You mentioned that we basically work with a Chinese company. The Chinese company that we work with literally builds 2.5 million vehicles a year. They're the largest small vehicle manufacturer in the world, literally. And they're very vertical. All the parts that, I would say 95% of the parts that go into the vehicle are made for this vehicle. So it's not like they bought a part here and a part there and put it together. They even make their own motors. They make their own wire that goes in the motors. Even to the point where they weave their own interior fabric. So everything is made for the car. Quite sophisticated, really sophisticated.
And, when it comes to charging an electric vehicle, and I happen to be driving an electric vehicle today that would charge up much better on 240 volts or 440 volts, but I'm charging it up on 110 volts, which has worked out okay. It's worked out fine. But your vehicle can charge up both on level 1 and level 2, right?
It's actually quite interesting. You can plug into a household 110 outlet. If you have a 220 household outlet that you might use for a dryer or something in your garage, you can charge on a 220 household. But we also just recently developed an adapter that allows it to charge on level 2, 150,000 chargers out there, public chargers. So it's a 3-way charging system, which is kind of unheard of in this category.
So typically on your car, it would charge up on sort of a regular outlet, which I would guess would be fine for most people, but you do have the option of doing it a little bit faster on the 240 volt, like you said, a electric dryer or electric stove style outlet or something like that. Does it use a normal electric vehicle charging port, or is it proprietary to the Wink?
Okay, the charging port is a special proprietary one in the car, and the charging wire, the vehicle has a built-in charger, but the charging wire is special for that port. But we also have an adapter that allows it to plug into a regular public charger anywhere.
Okay.
And what's the purpose? The purpose is a lot of people, especially in a low-speed vehicle, they don't have access to a garage. I mean, if you live in an apartment or a townhouse, we're not going to run. For instance, if you're on the 20th floor of a building, you're not running a 20-floor extension cord. So you just want a public charger. And that's the purpose of this adapter, which is very unique.
Yeah, so, it certainly sounds it. But for instance, I live in a small house and I have a little driveway, and there's a 120 volt outlet by the corner of my house that I plug stuff into periodically. I could just pull this up, plug it in, and charge it up. And how long does it take to fully charge? Say I brought it down to 20 or 30% charge. How long would it take to fully charge it back up?
I would say the way to think about it is, first of all, we have an 85-mile range, which is unheard of in low-speed vehicles.
Yep.
And so it's 85 miles running the air conditioning or the heat. That's pretty amazing. But I would say from 30% to 80%, which will give you 60, 70 miles of range, it would take 4 hours.
Okay.
On a 220 would be less, and a public charger would be even less, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah. So it charges up faster than the electric bicycle I have.
I don't know about electric bicycles, but when you mention electric bicycles, it's quite kind of interesting to me, because I see people taking their kid to school on the back of an electric bicycle. What happens in the rain? What happens in the cold? What happens in the snow? The better question is, what happens if you're in a collision with your kid on the back of an electric bicycle? That's scary to me.
Yeah.
But interestingly...
go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have the only vehicle in this category that's fully equipped. It has 30 items that you would never expect that are above the Department of Transportation requirements. But it's also street legal. You can get a license and real insurance in 49 states. New York is excluded. New York has their own set of crazy rules, in my opinion.
Well, New York is the only rule. The very few things I know about New York, but New York is or at least New York City is the only city that the standard blue and white handicap placard doesn't apply. New York City has their own. So
that's interesting.
It is New York City, in New York in general, and New York City has its own, but it is street legal in 49 states. So I live in Massachusetts, so I could go and buy one of these, and I could register it and drive it like a regular car. And honestly, most days, probably 3 days out of the week, my car doesn't go anywhere, and the other few days out of the week, especially where I live right now, I probably don't go more than 10 or 12 miles in a day, and most of the roads are under. There's only one road near me that's above 35 miles an hour, but most of the roads are 35. In fact, the town I live in, unless it's otherwise posted, all the speed limits are 25 miles an hour. Now, the low-speed electric vehicles are designed for roads at under 35 miles an hour, right?
It's correct. Actually, the top speed is 25, to be quite open about it. And you're allowed to drive it on a road that's 35.
Right.
And interestingly, I believe the rules were put together because the government believes that all these low-speed vehicles are golf carts, and golf carts aren't as safe in many ways. 80% of the injuries and deaths attributable to golf carts is people falling out of a golf cart. We have a fully enclosed vehicle. It's an all-steel body, unibody construction. The chances of getting hurt is much much less than in a golf cart. You're exposed in a golf cart.
Well, and the one thing I will say, and I can't say I've disassembled a lot of golf carts, but this car has actual real suspension, like McPherson strut style suspension, and trailing arms that hold the rear suspension, and coilover springs, where most golf carts don't have anything near that.
Yeah, well, they're kind of crude. Golf carts are kind of crude. The suspension, you're right, it has McPherson struts in the front, independent suspension in the front, with rack and pinion power steering. And the power steering is what I would call real power steering. It's very, very low effort, very comfortable to use. And it rides like a car. And what's really interesting to me, I don't want to brag, I drive a Mercedes every day. And I'm in New York City, I have a special license plate. I drive a Wink more than I drive my Mercedes, truthfully. So, but what's interesting is the vehicle is tight like a drum because it's robotically put together.
Right.
So the tolerances on the doors and the roof, it rivals high-end car manufacturing, the way the doors close and how solid the vehicle is. It doesn't rattle, it doesn't shake. It's really pretty impressive that way.
Well, before we talk price, I just Googled for fun, low-speed electric vehicle, for sale new, excludes freight, setup, and tax. And for a lithium-ion, what is this, club car, it is $16,699, but that excludes freight, setup, and tax. If I wanted to go buy a Wink electric vehicle and I live in Massachusetts, how would I do that, and how much would it cost?
Okay, first of all, you can do it online, but you still want to know what the product is. So there's a process. The process that we offer, which is unheard of in the industry, is you can actually make an appointment, and we have professional presenters who will do a FaceTime or video chat with the consumer, and you can ask 100 questions, and the presenter will show you the vehicle point by point by point and describe the vehicle and show you the vehicle as you want to see it. So you can get a good feel for the product online if you don't have the ability to see it in person.
It's interesting. Cadillac did that a few years ago. I think probably in the height of COVID, they actually had these Cadillac virtual lounges where if you were interested in buying a car, you'd go click on the site and you'd get a person and you say, I'm interested in buying a Cadillac CTS something, and they would present the car to you that way, and then they'd arrange for delivery, however they arrange for delivery. So once I've decided that a Wink is the vehicle I want to buy because it has everything you mentioned, and the vehicle, and not to take any shots at Club Car, but all the things that they don't have, which is climate control doors and so forth.
I could make a comparison there. They don't have 3-speed intermittent wipers. They have wipers. They don't have 3-point inertial wheel seat belts. They have lap belts, typically. I think you could buy 3-point belts.
They only have 3-point belts in the front, it looks like. Okay.
They don't have buzzers that tell you that the brake is on or that the brake problem, that the door is open, that the seat belt. It's not integrated.
Yep.
It doesn't have remote control locks because there really aren't locks in the product.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on and on.
Yep. No.
But,
okay. Well, let's their I guess XR, which I don't know what that means, probably extra range or something, is almost $17,000 plus freight, setup, and tax.
Okay, so when you add the doors, that could be $4,000. When you add a good battery, it's another $4,000. When you start adding all the stuff, so to say, you're up to $30,000, and you're still taking a golf cart and trying to turn it into something that it's not. So this is really put together like a car. It's a car. It's a small electric.
Well, how much is yours?
$17,995, including delivery to your doorstep. So the way we process an order is you place a $250 deposit, and we contact you for the balance payment and for the delivery questions, and we arrange to have it shipped to your doorstep. All ready to go. There's really no real option.
And then I get a sort of certificate of origin sort of thing and title, and I take that. We overnight the title. You can take the title of DMV. When DOT recognized, the DMV will run it through the computer systems, the federal and the local computer systems, and it's all good. We've had vehicles in many states with no issues whatsoever. Well, that's a good point. How many vehicles have you sold? Which is a question I asked Tesla one time, and they would never tell me.
It's kind of confidential. Right now, I would say we just really started. I mentioned about 10 days ago.
Can we say quite a few?
I would say scores.
Scores, okay. And of the scores of vehicles you sold, what's the overall response from your customers? What do they think?
They're referring their next door neighbor. They're referring their relatives. They love the product because they're typically used to driving around. Listen, there's a lot of these in the southern part of the U.S. where it's hot as hell. Yep. So they're used to roasting in a golf cart, and so now they have air conditioning, really good air conditioning, and it's a really enclosed vehicle. I have someone who's commuting with his kid on the back of an e-bike to school. Mm-hmm. He's ecstatic because he has his child in the back of a Wink and a child-proof door lock. I would say the reception is fabulous. Mm-hmm. And I would also say that we will get a lot of referrals from current owners. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like Volkswagen. When Volkswagen first brought in the Beetle in the country, I think they brought in like 5 or 10 of them. So
right. And the dealers were the guy at the gas station that said, "Yeah, I'll take it on." It was and the same thing with Toyota and Subaru for that matter. It was they weren't dealership style people. And are you trying to expand your network to include whether it's e-bike dealers, golf cart dealers, stuff like that, or are you going to stay with your model that you're using now?
No, we're trying to expand with. Actually, they're not dealers; they're display delivery and service centers. Okay. So a display delivery and service center, we basically follow the Tesla model, but it's a little bit hybrided because they're independent shops. The first parameter isn't are you a car dealer? Are you a e-bike dealer? Are you a power sports dealer? Are you a golf cart dealer? The first parameter is how is your consumer rating? Do people love you or not love you? If they don't love you, and you want to commit to buying 1 million of my vehicles, I won't work with you, because to me we need to convey honesty and integrity. That's the first requirement for us to take someone on. It's not a matter of selling vehicles; it's a matter of selling vehicles happily to consumers.
Yeah. And what's the warranty on a Wink?
Okay, so the warranty is 2 years to bumper to bumper, and the battery is 6 years. Okay. And we believe the battery will last 15 years because it's a China aerospace battery. Yeah. And we have a very unique service situation, which I don't believe anyone has ever done. And we have good experience with it. We've been in business literally since 2021. And this is our 5th model. And the 4 prior models were okay, but not what I was dreaming about. But what we did was, if a consumer had an issue, we would ask them, "Who's your favorite local mechanic?" They would say, "Okay, Joe on the corner." Okay, we would check Joe out. Sometimes on a AAA site to see what their rating was. And if Joe was an upstanding guy, we would work with him. 95% of the time, the person's favorite mechanic was someone good. So we would say, "Okay, take it to Joe." And 9 times out of 10, it was something simple to fix, like a window switch. We would overnight the switch. If the mechanic couldn't figure out how to fix the vehicle, we have a master mechanic who will FaceTime the local mechanic and show him point by point by point how to fix the vehicle. We had one vehicle where someone had cut the wiring harness, and our master mechanic spent hours going wire by wire with the local mechanic to fix the wiring, and it was very successful. So our motto is to really take care of the customer. How do you want to be treated is how we want to treat people.
Mm-hmm.
How I want to be treated.
That makes sense. Makes sense. So if if you sold one of these cars here, and my favorite shop was right up the street, and he's like, I don't really work on electric cars, and I'm like, well, we have this guy. He'll call you and tell you things, and like you said, if it's a minor repair, anybody can fix a minor repair. So yeah, no, that's great. So if people want more information, it's winkmotors.com, right?
Right. And, we ask for a small deposit, then we walk them through the purchase process. Mm-hmm. And we have, I would say we have fabulous customer service because we really care about the consumer.
And if people actually want to talk to you, if they're like, I want to talk to the guy who started this company, will you talk to him?
Absolutely, positively. Again, I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. So yes, okay. you want to talk to the guy who started the company. Who by the way, I actually work part time. That's 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, you're half day. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
When I was younger, I worked full time, but now I'm a little older. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds like an interesting product. I mean, and I think you're right. If you lived in the city, first off, parking is very easy because it's a small or if you lived in a 55 plus gated style community like you see in Florida or Arizona or around where I'm am right now, which is kind of a touristy area that, people are just looking to go to the beach and the supermarket and, maybe stop at the bank once in a while and, things like that. They're not going any long distances. Like you pointed out, it's a vehicle you can drive in the rain, you can drive it in the snow, you can use it year round. It has heat and air conditioning. So it sounds like it's an answer for a lot of people that maybe said, I don't know that I have a use. The average new car today is a little bit over $52,000. The average used car is in the mid-20s. So somebody who wants something simple and small, and I didn't get to drive it much. I only drove it around the parking lot in Middleborough, but it was pretty fun to drive.
Thank you. But I just want to add a couple of things.
Okay.
What's really interesting, you can get really good liability insurance for less than $200 or $300 a year for major carriers. Mm-hmm. That tells you about the safety profile of the vehicle. If you have a real car, so to say, you're probably spending 8 to 10 times that just for liability. Mm-hmm. So you're saving a fortune on insurance. You're saving a fortune on I want to say electricity. What happens is if you're driving 500 miles a month in a regular vehicle, you're probably spending $150 a month in gasoline. Over here, you'd be spending $30 a month in electricity, which is another very big savings. You're saving almost $1,500, $1,800 a year in fuel.
Yeah.
So between the two, it's very, very economical.
Yep. No, it absolutely makes sense. Mark, it's been a pleasure talking with you. If people, again, want to check it out, it's winkmotors.com. I want to thank you for joining us on the Car Doctor radio program.
Thanks so much, John.